This is RT. This is P.M.P.1, a.k.a. Saroja and RTTI in New York City. This is her series. This is episode 5. We just connected not too long ago. We're going to do this call tonight in regards to Sistah Saroja's recent situations and scenarios that have unfolded over in India due to the whole scenario with the COVID-19 and things of that nature popping up out there alongside her targeting, which is mostly, I believe, directed energy weapons and mind control technology that have been used on her to feel a certain type of way, to behave a certain type of way, as far as hurting her, maiming her, torturing her by using these frequencies that leave marks on her body, also internally as well. So it's a wear and tear type of situation that is involved when these people, if they're even worthy of being called people, which I don't agree with that, but for a lack of a better term at the moment, you know, I'm using what came to mind. She will, as y'all can hear, we have the ambulances with their little audio tactics, things of that nature, like to do whenever we do these calls that have to do with this program, exposing it and things of that nature. So I'm glad that that was caught on audio to show and prove that these people listen in on our calls. I mean, we as TIs already know this, but the viewers who watch this particular series involving Sistah Saroja's and the series that I do with, you know, the squad on Sundays that have been temporarily put on hold because of a personal family matter that I've had. You know, people know already what time it is. People know what the situation at hand is about with these people and what they do. So without any further ado, I will pass the floor over to Sistah Saroja, and she could go according to her discretion on how she wants to document what she was starting to tell me earlier, which is a lot of interesting information and important information that should be documented. Sistah Saroja, you have the floor.
Thanks, R.T. So over there in India, the COVID-19, you know, they keep saying there are so many deaths, this and that, but I'm in a big city in Bangalore. We don't see that, like, you know, fear or, you know, day-to-day life is going on pretty good. But in my hometown, which is, you know, town in northern Karnataka, in the neighborhood, there was one family, back side of our family, there was one lady who was kind to me. You know, she just had retired and then having her life. So she had a heart attack and she got killed. And there was this professor, my dad is a professor, so we live on a professor's colony. One of the professors was kind to me, and then early on, 2 years ago when I came back from US, I had spoken with him about this thing. And he was kind, and he asked my dad that, you know, they should support me. And obviously, he got killed, he died. In my hometown, there are a lot of, there is a situation really like hot, everybody stays in, compared to the big city, Bangalore over here. So, and there are mails going on in the social media that these are not true and that we should follow this inhalation kind of thing, things of that nature. As far as the torture goes, for the past month, they have been burning my lower leg below knee. It's just the constant heating, you know, it just burns. My skin burns. And by the time in the morning when I wake up there will be some kind of scratches where they will be bleeding, and over that they would be burning. Even if I cover something like the good plastic around it, like if I skirt it around that thing, it still wouldn't block, and they would constantly take up one point to the point of my leg, and they will be beaming that, and this would be hard. You know how it is outside? If I, sit down and hold my palms around it, yeah, then it will stop. Or if I put a sticky tape over there, it would stop. Their hurt or the burn will be, like 99% less. But how long can I put this sticky tape on? It's not healthy, then this will go. And they're radiating so much. So if I press down on my big bone on the lower leg, I think it's the tibia, if I press that down just for 1 or 2 seconds, there will be a big dip. That means I'm getting radiated a lot. And also, the right side of a toe, what they do is that as soon as I am ready to sleep and then put my leg inside I tuck it inside my bedding, that's it. Then they will start this ingrown nail, like that kind of a pressing over there would be very heavy. And if I take my other feet over it, it will reduce. If I get up and then cover that with my hands, that will reduce it. And sometimes initially, that I would block it with heavy layers of plastic. That has kind of stopped, at least bearable. And then I think one day I could see in the nighttime these hovers, these retired perps, they'll be going around to try to flash it. And I think sometime he was trying to flash it and it wasn't happening. He had to come around this way and that way to make it happen. And so now that process has increased. I don't know what happened yesterday. Yesterday, all my right toe is really, really bad. They are really pressing. Even if I take my other toe and press it over there, it's not happening. Maybe their remote has gotten a double sensing kind of thing. So there is some, implants, below my toenail. When I say implants, don't assume that I went to the hospital and they did it. No. Right in the air, if I stand on my door still, of my door, and there's a perp right across in at the top level somewhere from the higher building. And so he injects, and right away I feel that there's not much you can do. And then once it is in, they wait for like 2-3 days for it to settle, and they start moving it. When they move it, then I know, or when they beep it, then I know. Something similar to I think I probably spoke the last time on my one of my fingers also. They had done, and that was like a lid, and they could see. But then I took a needle and I got that out, so that's already gone. So as far as my efforts or how I'm getting cornered is that, I'm a targeted individual. I have opened an NGO. The name is, Society of Safe Bharat, that means Safe India, against covert torture and energy weapons. So we know about 7 to 10 people in the city who are targeted. One of them is really backing up. The other one, called Satish, they keep him busy, like working all 7 days, and it's supposed to be 8 hours work, but then he would be working like 10 to 12 hours, because it's not clocked, it's like managerial job, that sort of thing. And always somebody in his home gets sick, either he gets sick, or his wife gets sick, or the child gets sick, that sort of thing. So he's not able to come out, so he would like to. And another person called Ganesh, he's there. We're trying to do a write-up. We're trying to do social media reach out. We're talking about going to Delhi to PIL. Then those sort of things. But then he gets a lot of V2K, and then he says in my V2K that they are telling me, Saroja, you are the perp. So then he really backs off. And they did cause an accident to him where he has broken his arm into pieces, the top, and then he's gone to fix it. And now they are hosing the bad air or this energy to hurt his healing area, and I know how that works. Okay, there is no other hell than what that is. So they're doing. So he has backed off. So another girl that I work with is from a different place, called Pune, from different states. We're always every day trying to work on what we can do. So now they have the police in my hometown had gone to my dad and had him write that okay, Saroja may not be that. She may be mentally not that sound, something of that interest. Right up there, we gotten from him a statement from him. So I'm trying to reverse it. I had my sister write about me, and the other two cousins are, two close folks. And I have sent letters to all the police, the FP, DYSP, CPI, different offices. And they're still not responding well. I probably have to do an RTI and go from there. Meanwhile, in that district, I went to a round of attorneys, the advocates, telling them about this. And then one guy said, wait for the senior, and senior came up to me, and I talked about this. Before even I go, he said, you know what, we are familiar with this, because there was a girl who came about this, we interviewed her 5 times, and we were convinced and we were going to work on that case, but she withdrew and she didn't come. So he said they would do a case in a human rights court if I would like to. And I agreed, and then it came, I didn't know what that means by then, so I was kind of studying, and now it looks like a good place to go. And then I'm calling him back, and he's not taking my calls. And I tried to get my cousin intervene, and he said, oh yeah, we've been busy, and they're meetings for about next 8 days, and we'll take that case later on. That's what he said. So that has gone on. In the home front, here in Bangalore, I'm trying to reach out to several NGOs. So since there are not any TIs that are going with me, it is very hard. I'm also trying to buy a car over here for me to go around. Right now, I have a two-wheeler to go around. I want to get a car so that many people can go to do the awareness programs. So yesterday, when I went to see the car, the perps were following me, and then those two, monkey kind of folks came up, and I saw them, but I didn't take a picture. I was in the middle of something when they showed up. And so now as I speak, my new kind of a place where they have something, it is beeping, it is beeping. Even if my beeping meaning it's hurting me. And even if I hold on my hand, it won't sit quiet. It was because now I am up here this morning in India. So I am up, and so they had stopped those things because my legs are out of my bedding. So they had stopped. That's because of this call. I think they're doing this. So from this, I'll tell you folks, showing somebody, it's very easy for these folks. The system, the syndicated system that is present all over in India, they hire very low-class people to do all these things. It's all too real. They can kill somebody in a second with a heart attack, with a DW, or, they can mimic any disease, they can take your breath away, any sort of things of that nature. They can make, they can make it fall with the energy, or they can break your stuff. They can cause accident with this mind control kind of thing, where they can put you in subconscious mode. I mean, obviously, subconscious means you're basically your soul that is there that you are thinking, or it could be even blacked out. Your conscious doesn't know how to respond. It doesn't have a body feeling. It knows that it's kind of is an entity, but it doesn't have a body to work. It can work with. It's just a conscious, just thought. and that goes on. And then when you are driving, when they do that, you are not aware, and you could be in an accident, and you are going to be, and you will be blah 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 until they release your conscious back. There's nothing you can do. Same kind of exercise they do even when I'm at home, right? At nighttime, they want me to be sleeping or something. Even if I am sleeping, if they put you in unconscious mode, you would be in that mode until your body sways back around, or they would bring you back around. It could be like 2 to 3 hours that I wouldn't know that they have put me in. And the swaying mode of my body when I'm sitting up, that kind of gets me out sometimes to bring to my consciousness. And then I'm trying to think, can I do something? If you are still sitting, they can still swing you back again. So those kinds of back and forth are there. So they can kill you from many routes. And also, when I went to my district place, I went to see a district magistrate. As soon as he saw, there were a bunch of people who were going to see him. And he saw, he's like, okay, come, what's the matter? And I'm from NGO, here is the stuff. So he was all very eager. And then he only talked to me just 2 seconds. And then that came, oh, there's a meeting. There's going to be a meeting. Okay, he's got to go, everybody back off. Okay, so I knew that already they are, keeping him to get out and not to listen. And by the time he came back, he's like, he doesn't want to hear. He's looking elsewhere. Everybody else here get a chance and not me. And it's forcibly when I go, there's no meeting. This is all set up. I'm kind of talking like that. And then he finally gives a little time, and he's like, oh, well, I already heard you. We'll take care of it, ma'am. Like that he was talking. So I already know he already got him. So those things go on. So they they come in ordinary dresses. They are however 24/7. Wherever we go talk, they mitigate right away the issue. So obviously, there's no way for this to be publishing and people to be knowing. And if I put in a social media, a lot of people, like in India, there are a lot not a good technical. Though there are a lot of engineers here, but India itself does not use them. These foreigners use them. Here, technology is far behind. So they have, even if I tell them, like, okay, look, this is what's going on, it is hard for them to believe, okay, just like everybody else. It is hard for them to believe, and they're not believing. And even if whoever that I make an attempt to, that would be, boycotted like this. They won't reach out, or they change up people's mind, and they probably are really saying, who knows what. And then even if the district attorney, that the human rights court that we're trying, he would be already corrupted. So, but what else can we do? So this is also real. They are killing. This has been going on for a long many years. And I recall, now I'm at the age of 50 plus, and at my 12th exam, on my biology exam, they had done this subconscious thing. Because there was this favorite answer that I had prepared with my picture that I was drawing, and so that question came in, and I'm working on it. In the very beginning of like 3-hour exam, they probably 15-20 minutes into it, and by the time that I got straight out, it was already, the exam was getting over, and I was only attending on that question and that picture. How come that whole picture takes 2.5 hours? Obviously, okay, the exam got over, and my score was less, and my, physics, chemistry, mathematics, and stuff that they calculate for me to go on to whether it's engineering or medical was dropped down, so I couldn't go elsewhere. So this is how they have influenced my life from the beginning. And then, I got engaged to this husband who was abroad in the U.S. First time when I got my visa and I was ready to come to the U.S., in the airport itself in India, which is Mumbai, there these gangsters were there, and in that airplane, my ears got, popped and all kinds of stuff. So there are a lot of crimes these people are doing where there is no chance for me to do any crime. I was good in school, and that's what I did. I never went to work or any such thing. So these people's crimes are all over the world, and they are very already embedded So coming back to now, whatever we are trying to reach out, that's all goes bad. It's hard to hear. So I imagine, soon they will take me out, that sort of thing. And how come they're not doing a lot of mind control? They can read my mind or they can suggest, but the thing is, I have grown mind. I don't listen to them, and I cannot because my education is all different angles, and then whether it's a history or political current issues in a different country, different people, in our own people, our own issues, or the culture and that sort of thing. So they cannot go beyond me. Whoever is interviewing me do not know much better than I am, so they are not tackling me much. So the mind control they cannot do, so they do a lot of physical torture to me. I think the girl was saying, so, and the hip and all that, what happens tonight, they hold a lot of energy into their private parts, and then everything gets desiccated on that side, and your body mass goes down. That continues every night. So that is bad. That shrinks your body, your height and weight, everything. And now they're affecting something in the back, and the breast side has gone reduced. And then the butt side has gone reduced, that kind of thing. And the body manipulations, they go on, of course. And I try to cover my head really, really well with the plastics and newspaper stuff, bundling into the ear and all that. And we know that, all these energies, they pass through right into all the earthly stuff. But even when I try, so that they shouldn't crack my skull to put some this thing in, neuroplants in, I think they use the energies to break your skull apart very easily. I know that, and that when they use that technique, the skull hurts. So they do it when you are sleeping. So I wouldn't want them to insert the neural links and stuff like that. That Elon Musk crap. So I try it really, really tight. And then they're holding my head to the radiation is a lot, no matter what I do. They usually fight high. The hunting and haunting is really heavy. And also, I have a clothing, like a shirt, long sleeve shirt, in the middle of the long sleeve, where it is my elbow. I have a little plastic that I cover so that they used to inject, that energy or whatever, I don't know, chemical in there, and then I would have a lot of bumps and which they put, and that would dissipate into my skin like a muscle injection, like a shot, like an allergy shot kind. So to stop that, I have put a plastic in. But then the top, the arm, that's where they have been injecting, I believe. And they can inject to make your this thing very fat and ugly, or they can deplete. So they do that. And for my cough level, they ring it out. In my sleep, they ring it out so that whatever I eat, the energy is there, the reserve, they ring it out. When they are ringing it out, the action that just squeezes from an angle to turns around, and then it squeezes, and once it catches the clamping, the whole muscle, and then the stretch, and then pull that. It's very hurtful. To stop that, I use a lot of tapes and then the newspaper thing. But even then, I think they increase the energy that they use, and they try to do that in my sleep, where they have hijacked my conscious. Occasionally, that I do feel that, and they work up. Not much I can help. It's very bad. Folks, I want you guys to know that they can take anybody's stored energy out. They can bring any part of you out. They can burn any muscle. And then even when I'm sitting in the bottom part of I covered the plastic onto my top of my soft tissues, all the dorsal part, body part, internal organs. So the backside I leave it open a little bit because to breathe. they can manipulate any of the backbone thing, any side of the backbone. They can make any nerve. They can make any of your muscle. They can do all sorts of things, and you wouldn't know in your subconscious. And they constantly try to hold on a lot under there's part of the energy, or pulsating energy. Under the neck, they do a lot. And so I try under the neck, a lot of bundles of newspaper in the plastics and the sticky tapes and stuff. It does help me, not completely, but it does help me. And they try to then hold the part which I have not covered, a little bit into the head. So I could see the part, like what they are trying to do. The covered part is soft and okay, just as usual. The uncovered part where they hold, it's hard and solid and it's bulky, that sort of thing. So those things are all going on. My research, I am more worried that I should, go on and to do those things. But I don't have very many hopes. Any day they could take me out for sure. Any day, and that's what it is. And since the mind is a mature mind that they cannot control much, only the subconscious, unconscious body that they can control. So even if we go on to the district court session where I would be talking about it, they ask for a technical proof. Now, how can you prove it? So the ideally that I have to reach out to, like a physicist or the college professors, university professors, or these research organization folks and stuff. So I also, heard that even if I go online in the court session and when I'm talking, they can even control like this. So I have seen those glimpses from other folks that are already, some nice folks are really put them together. You can really see how they do it and how the people snap out of it, how their behavior is different when they are into it, how they talk. You can say that. So that could happen to me as well. That's fine. For the Indians, they are not aware. I mean, historically that we've had these things, but in the court, proving and all will be difficult. We will see how that goes. But I don't think that they will let me continue for long anyway. So that's what I wanted to put it across to you guys. R.T. R.T. might have put me on mute. The siren thing?
The ambulance. The sirens. I wanted to know your thoughts
on why you think that the ambulance sirens earlier were going by.
So they're basically harassing the targeted individual for whatever reason that they have targeted us. They want to show that they have full control. You are nobody, you are nothing. We can do anything to you. And that we couldn't care less about you. Hey, you. Hey, you're nobody. You are in the program, okay? You're in the program of slow kill. You can make it today. That's what that is.
Right. So basically, they're letting us know that they're listening in on this call that we're pre-recording, and they're not feeling too happy about the topics that are being discussed. So that's their way of targeting us with dark NLP tactic. It's a power of association. When we hear those sirens, we're supposed to feel a certain type of way. Kind of like feeling in a sense of intimidation or fear, or anxiety or stress or something like that. It's supposed to induce that type of feeling. But of course, we're already, been around the block, so to speak, and we've built like sort of a callus to all that stuff that it doesn't affect us in the same way. Not saying that it doesn't affect us at all, ever, with certain things that happen at certain times. But what I'm saying is that overall, at the level that we're on now, it's like basically we could just scratch that off of our shoulders, you know what I mean? That type of thing, because we're still going to continue to do what we do. But I definitely agree with you, sister, that it's a form of them letting us know, that subliminal message type of thing too. Like whenever they do that to us TIs, as far as the ones that are in the squad, we tend to correlate it with like a veiled threat. That makes any sense? Kind of like saying, like what you said, we could make it today where we hurt you and you could go away in an ambulance. Hence the whole thing about showing you an ambulance and hearing the sirens. They want to like give you an impression of a veiled threat, like a camouflaged threat, indirect type of thing.
That's it. That's
right. So, let me get the questions from the emails of viewers that wanted to ask you these questions. Give me a second. Okay. So basically there's 5 questions in total.
Okay.
And I'm going to start with the first one. Sistah Saroja, what are the differences between neuroweapons and bioweapons?
Bioweapon, meaning weapon that kills your body one way or the other. Neural weapon is also a weapon, but it just kills in a neural way. So, for example, for a neural weapon is something that I was talking about in my toe, that they're curling my toe in, or they'll put something in and they'll only activate in the night. That is a neural weapon. Or they press the buttons so that then I start quickly, like I need to urinate like so fast that I cannot even control in a second. I cannot even go to next room to pee. Or they don't let me open the door right away. They start a little bit until like in a few drops before I open and then pee. They have to do every time like that. They have to wet the panty before we do. Or I am at a certain place and by the sink, they have to do it. It is there. If I go now, it will be on. I'll tell you. So those are the neural weapons. Or they could really make one of your fingers start aching, that sort of thing. Or, for example, they can cause heart attack with the nerve that is intended to come to, like, say, any of our parts. They pinch that and they do something so that your life will be ended. That sort of thing. So that's the neural weapon. So the kill by a neural assault or a neural attack or the neural complete breakdown is the neural weapon. A bioweapon, for example, is when I had injuries, very superficial injuries when I was in an accident where they made me unconscious. So these are superficial scratches on my ankle area. And when it needs to be healed open to the air, the wound needs to be healed, they would hold some energy on it so that it dries and it wouldn't heal, that sort of thing. That's the bioweapon. They're attacking you bio. For example, the implants. These implants are, you have to remember, they're like a very thin, like a hairstyle, and the width could be just 1 mm, 2 mm. So they're hard, when they're embedded in your thing, they don't even have to be hard, like a metal. They could be just little plastic and embedded, but the thing is, it responds to them because they have very nano stuff in them. Even if I tried to punch that out, it would be less. So that would be, bio. They could just wiggle around and try to, they will drive it, inside that area. They wiggle around to cut that area, and of course it hurts you. And then they would try to move over a bow and stuff like that. So they do a lot of stuff. And the bioweapon, so for example, a radiating your head all the time, or, maybe 10 heavy ones in a day, or calculated, that's a bioweapon. That is a real weapon. These are the examples of bioweapon. In the night, supposing your whole with the bad energy, or your ears completely, that's bad energy, those would be bioweapons. In the daytime, if they want, they can hold this energy a bit higher. Your head cannot take, then your head will have a noise inside the head. You have a noise there. But if you see a transformer, in the electric poles where it's going bad, if you go nearby, you might hear some noise like that sort of a noise will go on our hoods when they're walking heavily. So when they do that kind of stuff, I take immediately my, plastic and the silk cloth and the newspaper bundle. I put it over, so it cuts so much of it. But like I said, if they want to, they can do it so heavily that then I would feel dizzy, and then I could go off all the time. I could be dead. So that would be by a weapon. That wouldn't be me a weapon. So these are just a few examples that I could think on top of my head. Also, the bioweapon would be something to your tummy, some waves. They have these frequencies that our every organ works on, internal organ. So they could hold massive waves of the same frequency, but they would mess it up and then they hold it on our body part. Our organ will go back up and it doesn't function. So some of the victims on our side, they complain that they are changing their digestive stuff, and they cannot digest food, and they're losing their weight, and then the food, it's just not normal, and they are getting all sorts of things, and that's ongoing for them. These folks are trying with like a buttermilk or something just to get a good bacteria in, so that it could help digestion and stuff like that. They are trying, but it doesn't help much. So there are people who are complaining on that. To get that going, I cover my front side of the dorsal organs with the front heavy plastic, and I'm scraping. Some people even try the lead one, but lead would only cover so much. But wherever the air can go, so these people's frequencies can go, it would hurt. And there are some energies that doesn't even need air, like for example, what they hold on our head. Those could go in vacuum, for example, electromagnetic field. So, those would be bioweapons.
Okay. I hope the viewer that asked that question had a satisfactory answer. I'm assuming they did, because I definitely did. You answered that with very deep detail. Appreciate you, Sistah Saroja. Question number 2, PMP1. How far along in your targeting did you start to realize what was actually going on?
So in the year, let's say, 2013, I had my daughter that, she came to Hollywood, she came over there, and I was helping her out. So in her neighborhood, in the dorm, there were white people around her who were getting trouble. And she was like, she couldn't tell, she was like crying, but she's trying hard. Those bad comments from the dorm mates that I could see that are not nice, that is hurting her, and she couldn't go to school. So that was gangstering was going on, and so she started taking classes from home. By that time, I didn't realize that. I was like just encouraging her or like yelling at her so that, hey, you go, But then I started seeing peace in her. That she did say a lot of things, like I'm hearing a lot of noise in my head. Those sort of things that made no sense to me whatsoever at that time. But then as the time rolled in, I went on to help her out sometime, and I went there. So there was like a last exam for her that I went to move her stuff out of the dorm because it was last semester or something for the year. And she was sleeping like anything. Like we went to hotel to stay. She was sleeping like as though even a truck goes on her that she wouldn't realize. And I'm like, who would sleep like that? Any hour next semester's exam. Slowly, please, I started, and then I said, this is not normal. This is not normal. And then, I was getting some of those similar things. And then there was some kind of a dent in my head that I am seeing, and that I don't recall anything happening, and it wouldn't even read you like that in the call. So slowly I started seeing, and at my job, that my body is all like toxified, like it is like a plump, and my shortness of breath is there. I'm not able to move any place. I feel like a radiation kind of stuff. My hair is all falling off. And there were like accidents caused to me where I'm rear-ending. And then the things were like going around, and then things start falling in place. And then lot of things that I, like when I duck down, all of a sudden my back and it goes something bang, and then I dipping down. I know that somebody did something. And then slowly, like some kind of, when I come out into the sun, I feel the extra burning. It's not the sunlight burning, but it's extra burning. So I feel that there's opportunistic torture is going on, and I feel all those. As I started seeing those, and I was questioning, but I didn't say anything. It just went on for years and years, and then like a couple of years, then I started seeing that something is going on in the U.S. So the setup is not right, not good, and a lot of things, whether it's in our living or it's a job, it's our colleagues. It's my daughter, her schooling, her like crying, and then she's seeing like a psychiatric patient she shouldn't be, and that's going on. So slowly things started feeling. And my daughter, that time she said like she cannot sleep for like 2 weeks, where she cannot blink her eye, not even asleep, and she wouldn't want to visit me. And when she came to visit me, like I was like, in the night, like as soon as it was 10 o'clock, I'm like, go to bed, turn the lights off. Don't read anything, don't watch, this thing, just sleep. I'm like, Mommy, I don't get sleep. And she stopped not telling me things, and she stopped not coming over to me. But then things I wouldn't understand. I'm like, you go to sleep, and I'm like, fast asleep, and that's something, My daughter, she didn't know why she stopped saying things to me. And those things, they were doing opposite to me, and one job in IBM, they, with the seat that I go and see, like all of a sudden there were bugs were there, like very small, really tiny, just one box. They had placed them over there just for me. And I complained, they wouldn't think they would complain. They expect those Indians, they would be shy, and they won't tell, anything. So then I told IBM, this is one I never had in my life when I was there in India, not over here. And they started. So obviously something like that. So those people, like, they are the gang sector. They were doing that kind of stuff. So I realized all that. They took me out from that job. So I came out. And in 2018, I was started in 2012, 13, all these things are going on. My daughter doesn't graduate altogether. Every time they fail her, or, she's not able to take the class, she has to retake, she has regurgitate, she has to regurgitate. The teachers would say, this is not good, that is not good. Oh my God, what the hell for her to get just a page of graduation. Oh my God, oh yeah. So now I see, but then my daughter getting distanced away from me. I didn't see all that. And then my home would get, every day so much torture for me. Because I kind of knew that they are doing that. So when I come home, I was trying to quarantine so that my home wouldn't get to those things, I would wash my immediately, and I come home every day. I would be washing my clothes, everything that I touch, my books, everything. And then by the time that I sleep and by the time I get up in the morning, lot of ache in the body. There is a lot of inflammation in the body. I still wasn't thinking they were doing at night. I wasn't still thinking because if they do, I should be feeling, right? So, yeah, I said, well, it's not that so stuff went on for long, many years. So now I'm all too well connected, but I'm into it. So 2018, when I was in the citizen job, the boss in NYC, and he asked, because at the interview they asked the question very, trivial questions, and I had answered them like, blah, 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 because I had, very good training and I'm an expert. And he's like, oh, you answered the question very fast. Like that, he was showing me suspicion that I knew this guy is into it, and he's not thinking like I'm Daniel candidate or something, and he is hooked. And so there, the police following me, so back and forth. They would come back, even if they come on the other side of the traffic, they would hold me these into my chest and stuff. They would instill something. There would be like a dip in the body that the blood will be moving out. So I could see that they were after me, whether it's the sheriff, state police, fire trucks, and these forest rangers, everybody was on me. So I knew that. The neighbors were on to me. When I go in the movie, they would use the weapons onto my head, where my head would usually dip down. Literally you feel like sublimating your head and the skull. And one guy is like pursuing to my back, even when I'm exiting. And I'm trying to get different people in between when he's holding. Oh my God, it's awful. So U.S. is full of it. They are already into it. Oh my God. So in 2018, I realized, and their neighbors were like 24/7. They were watching. They were doing it. The neighborhood veteran is doing it. Across veteran, side veteran, everybody is into it. Oh my God, yeah. So then they will let you know. And the police cars come, and this guy, like when I'm in the cop, and then he comes into when I'm buying something, he doesn't let me carry me up, and then they are beaming these beams onto me, shocking beams or the aching beams or the neck crippling beams that they will be. And he would come on the side in order to beam it, as though like, oh, I won't realize it, I will not spot it. I would spot it, and I would run after him, and he would quickly take off and go away. Not many Indians, or for that matter, not many Americans would do that, what I did, okay? So I caught them, and they know, and they would run away, okay? So, in 2018, I know that it was over, and by that time, I tried to apply to get my Indian visa, overseas visa, which is like a second citizenship in India. Kind of a visa I tried to apply. I think they didn't catch that very quickly, meaning they didn't think that I would come away to India real good like this. And so they delayed that. It was supposed to come like 8 weeks or something, but they took a long time, and I worked through their questioning, coming back, hiccups and all that, and then I got it, when I got it, and then I emptied all my stuff, threw that out. Some of the stuff I kept it in my friend's place. They would come over when I was in the basement, in between my whole books. These people in the cars, they would come after me, running around, and in the rural, like I would go in the corner and stuff to hide from them, and then turn around, come around, and they would be following me, and then they would try to come around there, try to spot me. The game that I saw, it's all real, folks. And if anybody has a question, call me. If you think this is all made up, bad words to you, and this has been going on for before even I'm born. I don't need to be doing any criminal offense in the other part of the world. When I was a child, they have done things. They have done to my daughter. They have done to my father now. This is how. So the hell is here. The nuclear weapon, bioweapon. If it isn't for you yet, it might take, more generations and all that. They have, how U.S. gets its strong dollar over rupee? It is all calculated. It is not they earn more, their dollar is high. It's lying about the house value to, like when they sell the same house price, Originally, it takes about $60,000 to build, say built in 70s or something, that house if we buy. And they're selling that to $400,000, $450,000, or $700,000 in Virginia area around DC. So the crap, the whole system is built to bleach us, to bleed us. And same thing goes around the world. Developing countries do not know that these people are doing, and they have folks over here who constantly work on how to debilitate our system. Whoever is a good killer, they indirectly kill them. All these, everything. The social media and these messages that go around, they say here and there, they come in the name of the missionary. Not a missionary, this is a crap. There are no cool people that on the planet in the developing world. Even if they do that at like a personal level, they're not at the social level or continental level or the national level. The U.S. is a crap. That is that. If you guys don't believe it, that will help. So yeah, pretty soon they'll be kicking me out, for sure. I'll try till my last breath. But they are blackmailing me, meaning they use these tortures to me so that I should back down. So the toe thing that I talked about, the toe that means it is like I want to cut the toe out. It is that sort. So let's see. They would force me to. Literally, I don't have that because I'm not candidate for suicide or anything because I don't get their vice to skull and that kind of stuff. And I'm a very capable person. I have enough to stay with a simple, very low living. I have enough even if I don't get any job because they messed up all my jobs and everything. So I'm not looking for one. Even if wherever I go, they're messing my electrical stuff. My mouse goes on its own so that I cannot get done what I want to be doing. If so, then I cannot be doing any IT jobs. And then I tried the business is also the effect. And if you try the farming, they will affect immensely, whether it's a rain or drought or your insecticides and stuff like that, or any growth. So I know that they're capable of doing. If they can doing somebody's business, how would they change that? That incoming customer, even if it is for just a phone charge refill, I went and approached one guy with a refill shop, and he helped me, and by God, his business went down. And neighborhood businesses of the same sort were just fine, and he went down. So I know that they are capable of doing all that. So that's how now I'm living no job whatsoever. I'm putting my own money to do the NGO and then go from there. So they are capable of doing any form. So they will do this. This may not go that far. Me reaching out to my government may not go that far. Coming back to your question, the torture to your own, they use your own body now. They're weaponizing your own body against my own will, so they're killing me. Remember that Columbine killings and then Texas killings and all these kind of things? They're all, done by these folks. This is what is called the mind control. So when they put your subconscious takes your body through and does what is commonly known, but it doesn't react to your surroundings as much. If your nudges run smoothly, it does, but not intelligent way. So that time they will give you subliminal messages or question you ask you and have you do things otherwise your conscious wouldn't know, and they can do things to you and then they can easily make you kill yourself that you wouldn't even know that you killed your own body because subconscious doesn't have a body. It doesn't feel a body. Your own body doesn't know its presence of the energy of the entity, but it doesn't have a body to it. So if the guider tells you to do something to your own body, you will do it, and you wouldn't know. You wouldn't feel a single thing about it. Or he would have you do it to others, which I have one example here in Bangalore area. There's one the religious Hindu religion person. If we believe too much in Hinduism, and we are very orthodox, they don't like it. Those people are targeted. Because one world order, they want one dharma, one religion, that kind of thing. So if we are stuck to Hinduism, they don't like that, and those people are targeted. And so this one such person, they attacked him kind of recently when he's all grown up and all that. He has a very best friend that he knew him all along, and how come he's behaving like this now? So unconsciously, subconsciously, they have made him run 10 kilometers, run into a building, premises of a good company, and he killed two of the security people, and the third one he has broken his head, and then he's attacking the vehicles, 2-3 vans that he has vandalizing, and that time the police came and then wake him up. He doesn't remember any of it. And now he goes in a police station and he made him black and blue. And he comes out and he says, I don't know nothing. How could police do like this to me? And I know him, and he's part of it, but then he's still not seeing that they did it. He's just puzzled and doesn't know they did it. So he's not actively participating in my group to pursue. Maybe he's giving some lemon messages and stuff like that. There are a lot of kills in India that go towards these crimes, but they are not aware. Nobody's aware. They don't even want to hear it because they don't think it's feasible, or somebody could be doing it. Because see, for our culture, if you can let live, like if I go tell someone, say to RT, I go, like if RT were Indian, look, RT, they're doing something like this to me. RT does, if he were Indian, he would turn around and say, what did you do? Why would they do this to you? So in other words, our belief, Indian culture belief, if you don't do anything bad thing to others, they wouldn't do bad things to you. That's our belief. That's our system. And these criminal gang, these people, they are taking advantage of that. So, and then also, until and unless we see something like this happening, we don't believe, and we didn't have Holocaust per se, and we weren't in wars for a long time, so it is hard for us to believe even if such thing is happening. And technologically, we are not far advanced, so even to analyze, even if I give them the implant that I have, I could cut my body part and then give it to them, they're not in a position to analyze that this is happening. So we are extremely behind. Yeah.
Pardon me, man. There's a few more questions, and we're running short on time. I don't mean to interrupt, but I have number 3.
Okay.
It says, PMP1, have you found any shielding against these microwave frequencies that actually work for you?
Microwaves go in. They probably go in the vacuum too. So wherever air touches your body, that means you get the microwave attack. So not much. For the microwave, we don't have airtight anything. So no, I don't have much of shielding.
Okay, number 4. Saroja, how can one tell when the mind control technology is being used on you?
I'm sorry, could you repeat what?
Sure. It says, Saroja, how can...
Hello? RT? Are you there?
Pardon the interruption to Sistah Saroja's loyal viewers and listeners. Had some technical difficulties with the phone. We're back, and just going back to the question at hand, which is question number 4. Saroja, how can one tell when the mind control technology is being used on you?
That's a good question. Ordinarily, people would know that mind control has been used on them. They would get, like say, in the night they will have treatment. By the morning, either your spouse is very dear to you, or you just have seen all of his or her negative that you are completely grossed out. And you have no way of knowing that somebody treated you already. You don't know that. And so constantly doing it, they will ruin your life. And ordinary people have no way of knowing it. And so that is why the public awareness needs to be there about this technology. And number two, so how do I know? If they constantly keep on doing it over and again and over and again and again and over, and then you start seeing the people adversely working, even though you didn't have anything, that sort of thing. Over the period of time, if you are intelligent enough, if you see other symptoms, if you then go online and look it up, and if you talk to other people, if they start telling you this, and then when it is happening and you can see, well, yes, oh my God, and then when you become tuned to it, then you can start seeing the subliminal messages. You can get them like somebody just questioned or something. You already knew that question. Why would you ask that your own question to you? No, somebody just did it. Somebody just asked you. And how come it's a real voice who asked you? Though it came in your mind, it came in a real voice or something. Somebody just asked. Somebody just make you wake up. Or somebody just cussed at you where nobody's around. So then slowly you start getting it. So people have no way of knowing. It is gradually you have to increase into it. That is as of now. But if we technological awareness, if we make that aware, if the government makes you all aware, if we have lessons, obviously it is going to come out soon, maybe just a few years, because more like this Neuralinks by Elon Musk, and all this more technological stuff they go on, they will come up with the gizmos for you to use so that the industry goes on. From those on, slowly you will get to know, and whatever they want to release some information of its existence and the utilization or the use or misuse, only that the public will know. Otherwise, they have no way of knowing. So, I mean, I can only get into that far. Historical, like in Indian culture, we didn't have these things in historical way, but we've always had the kings who, those days knew about this. Either they attained more powers or they they somehow always took that as a sport, and then they would invite people. Okay, show us what you can do. The some expert. Show us what you can do in the court of a king, and then he would then honor them accordingly and stuff like that. And then something like that ever happens, then they would ask, okay, who did this? And they nicely invite them. So it has been handled very nicely in the past, but then now this is in the wrong hands and they wouldn't use it. Good news. So I think it's gone for the worst. Probably what I have gone right now, like I didn't know all along all my life, and now they are killing me. Indirectly they're killing me, and now they will really kick me out or make it really ugly, or they'll ruin my children's lives and stuff. So to keep the country as a nation as a developing only, versus they are the developed ones, their dollar up, values up, and our people. So this manipulation will go on for a long time. So they might keep it low this way. So this is beyond generational stuff.
Okay, and this is the fifth and final question. PMP1, are the injuries via directed energy weapons that you've been enduring non-reversible? And in parentheses, they put in the sense of irreparable damage.
Okay. So any body damage is a damage, whether that radiation is visible or not visible. Our body, existence of our body is in accordance with visible and invisible spectrum, or the gravity, all those forces. It is both. And when somebody holds it in invisible spectrum, our body goes through a lot. So basically, I'm looking and I'm talking by the grace of Mother Earth, but then inside of me is all, lack of better word, it could be just a body is all just gone to aged or all too literally scratched, like scrap. And then the question then falls: does my body have the capability to take care of it? When we come to this level that, oh my God, they're doing it, this already has gone way too much that my body is not able to heal, and then we stare and they are doing it again and again and over, and that I'm getting all these scars and all these burns. So I want to make something clear. All these damages are very physical. And some people might say, oh, I have a VTK ways to skull, but I don't have physical thing that I should show you. If they are doing V2K on you, if you are already targeted, they are doing radiation stuff on you. They are doing mind control on you. So there are damages, but your body is covering, you don't know. So these all our body has to heal. It depends on how much they are holding on me, how much they want it to, what's the rate, and all that it depends on. And soon it won't be able to take it. It will die. It is dying. So it's in the hand of the what do they call it, the handler or the clerks. They are given these gizmos, the electrical, like remote things where they have apps. There's apps. They are running on it. So they may not know. The handlers may know. So in other words, yeah, our body is very fragile to these things, and they can kill in an instant. Any of these energies, whether like microwaves, radio waves, ultrasound, ultraviolet, any of these. If they become too much, in a second, my body could go whack away. It could be knocked down. No doubt about it. So the question is, yeah, they are irreversible. Our body has to heal for whatever it gets. All these invisible ones, they pass through us. Remember, they pass through us. And the damage is what our body lets process and how much of it decay processes and all that. So those details, we don't have statistics or these things yet. These neutral people of US who did all these patterns, they might know. But again, it's our game versus our human game versus the Mother Earth.
And also, Sister Saroja, if you don't mind me adding this, these people don't allow us to heal. They don't give us a chance to heal because they know that they have to consistently bombard us with these frequencies throughout the day. Even if it's intermittently throughout the day, it's still damaging, like you said, to the human body because it's very fragile to these sort of frequencies, and they know this in advance. That's why they're using it to slow kill us, like a slow cooking with microwave frequencies, non-ionized radiation through the radio frequencies that may or may not be used to use the V2K, which is the voice to skull, or the silent sound spread spectrum, which is a mind control technology that has U.S. patents, by the way, for people who want to look this up. Another thing that I wanted to add on to that, as far as the people who do this stuff and know that the damage is going to be irreparable, is one thing when it comes down to the directed energy weapon attacks and how I've already stated, and you stated and confirmed that it's irreversible, it's irreparable damage, right? Now, going to the psychological operations that we barely talk about on these calls, on your series, which I understand because we specifically set out to speak on the directed energy weapon attacks and the mind control technologies mostly. But I just want to add this real quick in regards to the psychological operations to prove a point and confirm further, which is they know through the psychological operations going hand in hand in combination with the directed energy weapon attacks and the mind control technologies, that if they have those two things going on simultaneously against the TI, they pretty much have barely no resistance, no way out of that. You know what I mean? So with that being said, it's almost like if you have psychological warfare going on in one end, back to back, whether it's dark NLP, neuro-linguistic programming tactics that are being bombarded to your psyche on a day-in, day-out basis wherever you go, it takes that same that goes 1,000 cuts, death by 1,000 cuts. So basically, throughout the day, you're being bombarded with this to your subconscious. All this stuff, your subconscious is picking it up and it's absorbing it. But they've made it so we recognize it instantly because they've been sensitizing us to it and classically conditioning us. This is the psychological part about it. So they know this already, right? With that being said, if they would allow us to heal, which meaning if they stop doing all that stuff and give us about a year to heal, we would heal eventually. But the problem is they don't let us heal. It's like the whole thing about physically. Think about it like this, getting a cut or a gash in your forearm. Instead of treating it with rubbing alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, neosporin, iodine, things of that nature, we start picking at it and picking at it. This is what these people do. Picture them picking at us with these tactics. They don't let us heal psychologically, so they keep picking at it. Now think about when I go back to the physical wound. If you keep picking at that wound, what's going to happen? Eventually it's going to get infected, right? So these people know this. They don't want us to heal. That's the whole point of keeping us in that traumatized state of mind. Because when a person is traumatized, they're easier and more susceptible to being influenced even stronger by the coercive persuasion tactics that they use psychologically alongside the mind control technology to induce the manipulation mentally that they want to put on the TI. Sistah Saroja, any words?
Yes. Yeah. Most of it, what you said might be right, but there's a difference also. The younger minds, like you and I, we already know into it and we understood, we gathered. So now we can kind of sort things out, what they're trying negative on us, that we shouldn't take that as a negative. And we got matured into it. But young minds like my daughter, like when they are, say, teenagers, okay, they don't know what somebody is doing. And they don't want to believe somebody is doing. And the people who are irritating and showing and all that, my daughter is trying to please them all the time. So they die. They don't know. Even with the psychological game, that psychological game can kill their body. Even though these people didn't do any physical thing, it could kill their body. Okay? So, this is very, very bad, very sad.
Absolutely.
And the physical stuff. So young minds, a lot of young minds, like even like young minds, even they could be in 20s, 30s, 40s, they're like young minds only. The people, like say in their 30s, they're married, and then when if they're intercourse, then these people are telling them bad things about them. Oh, well, you are this, you are that. Well, we will make him go away and get some. Oh my God, a lot of things I hear from my. This is real, okay? If you ever think this is not real, you need to make more serious about each victim that I have, how true it is, okay? So this psychological game is as hard as or even worse than the physical thing. I get mostly like physical thing because they're not able to manipulate me mentally. And I have already given up my children, my parents, my money, my looks, everything I have given up. I'm not really caring and holding on to it. So they don't have much to blackmail me with. And that's how they have gone into the physical stuff. But like R.T. is saying, it is a capacity to overcome and all that. They are like picking on us over and over and over again. But the thing is, this is a calculated one-way game. So I am getting tortured as though I'm in a room with 10 people. They can do all they want. That's all happening, except that the world or the people around me don't see those 10 people. So it's as real, okay? The thing is, they have the control and they are letting us live. They are letting us live. This day, if they want me to live this way, I am living. If they don't want me to be, in a second I would be gone. Or if they want me to be hurting and so much that I kill myself, I cut my toe off, they can't do it. So it is under their control. So meaning it's under military. This whole entire stuff is not done by individual or the group of people. This is at the military level and the government level and then at a national level. And yet, it doesn't go through the fundamental human rights. It violates. So there is this side stuff that is doing, okay? So yeah, body is capable of healing all of it, but this is the evil people. They are deciding our fate. This is part of a depopulation and the damages to risk versus. Remember, all in the US, they're always talking about risk management, risk management. Yeah, there is a bank where they lend you money. That's the game goes on, but if they don't want to, the risk management, and they will. This is a game that they play with. So, in other words, this is a business that they have made. Maybe they have somebody who is paying to do Saroja to do this, or maybe not, or the government is, whatever it is. Now they have made a business out of a cruelty, out of the killing of the population. This is at that level. I hope you, the listeners, understand this. This is a game. This is a game.
Absolutely, it's a chess game, and it's a chess game that.
No, not necessarily. Not, yeah, they play like chess game. But the thing is, if you do the chess game, then I would have my coin against that equally, or more or less.
Exactly.
But
I understand. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But these people are cheaters because they use remote neural monitoring and they get to see the moves we're going to make before we move them. So, but these people are known to be cheaters and liars and all that other stuff. So it doesn't surprise me. But yeah, you're right. If it would be a fair, leveled out, serious, chess game for real, to let people use their wits and their mentalities, their intellect to try to figure things out without them reading our thoughts by cheating and knowing what we're going to do before we do them. It would be a different situation, but that's why they are where they are, and that's why we are where we are. Basically, that is the unfortunate truth. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop fighting, or the squad that I roll with is going to start fighting and exposing these people for what they do, and educating the recently awoken EI/TIs that are coming up now, or continuing to document what we go through. That is not going to stop. Okay, so I guarantee that.
But you have to think more than that. Whatever you did, the awareness program, is it going to stick at what? Because the system is theirs.
I already know.
YouTube, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't. That doesn't bother me. I'm not concerned with that. I could care less about that. Sincerely, my only concern right now is to try my best in my lifetime, while I'm still here, if it's possible, to get this program exposed by any means necessary. Period. And if I don't see it in my lifetime, I would at least would like for my particular channel and other TI channels in the squad to be looked upon as a digital footprint that we leave behind once we're gone and we're ashes and we're no longer on this planet. But we're on another realm, spiritual realm more than likely. Hopefully, who's ever there will be able to learn from what we left behind, like pyramids. That is yet another way of looking at it. Sistah Saroja, it's been a pleasure. I apologize that we have to cut this particular call at this point now, because it's right now 11:15 p.m. my time, and the call usually goes only for about an hour and change, and we've gone over a little bit, which is not a bad thing, because this is episode 5, the one that you're going to do for this year. Not the final one forever, but the final one for this year. So I'd just like to give you the floor on anything that you'd like to say to close your call. And if you'd like to speak privately afterwards, we can do that. I do have to work in the morning within time span that we usually speak to, but it's not a problem. You got the floor, Sistah Saroja, before I close the call for you.
Thank you, R.T. I really appreciate you taking time, connecting with people, trying to expose, and being kind to me, and letting me participate and let me air what's happening on this part of the world as well. I really appreciate your time. I thank you, and then I'll talk to you later.
You're very much welcome, Sistah
Saroja. Your thoughts, your input, and your patience with continuing to do what you do is very much appreciated by us here in America. The squad that I roll with, the loyal viewers and listeners that will listen to your particular series as well. Always appreciate what you're able to do, and please continue to keep fighting the good fight in your own way where you are, because people are counting on you, and you are necessary and needed. With that being said, this has been PMP1, a.k.a. Sistah Saroja, that I endearly call her that, and RTTI in New York City, episode 5, signing out.